Tyranids have a simple and terrible agenda, Commander. Left unchecked, they will kill and consume every living thing on the planet. The Tyranids are a threat of unimaginable proportions, Commander. They are endless in number and intent on consuming whole worlds.
This is what makes the Tyranids so deadly. Only a few Hive ships need to escape a battle for the Hive fleet to survive. These few ships will go on to devour a few poorly defended worlds. This provides the biomass needed to replenish the Hive fleet and make it even larger given enough time. Every Hive fleet we have encountered has had the potential to topple the Imperium, and each one has the potential to spawn any number of splinter fleets if they escape to weaker sectors. Mark my words, Thaddeus. The Imperium has no shortage of deadly enemies, but they all pale in comparison to the Tyranids.
Welcome to Warhammer 40k, a galaxy so grim that the spiders can now step on you, or ask you to pay the rent this month because mom's coming to eat the planet. Last time we focused on my favorite chapter of all time, the Ultramarines. But now that we got the blue balls out of the way, we can focus on a faction of varying popularity that has the most thirst traps I have ever seen. The Tyranids. The Tyranids are a species that come from outside our galaxy, showing up officially in the year 745 M41. And to say they wrecked house is an understatement. The Imperium really had no clue what these things did or what the goal was for them when they first met. All they knew was that these things screwed with psychers and stripped planets clean of resources, like I eat McDonald's fries. Though the first invasion of the Tyranids at the Ultramarines' homeworld of Macragge was shattered, it took everything the Ultima system had to splinter the Hive fleet, and for a few years, it was just picking clean pockets of resistance. Until we had a second Tyrannic War. Then a third. And ooh, now a fourth, with planet-sized bugs. How wonderful! The basic rundown. Bugs eat planets to fuel themselves and evolve so they can get more planets and repeat ad nauseum. Also, to show you how scary these things are, here's the galactic map. No, your eyes do not deceive you. Tentacle Mom is coming from all directions. Let's move on to the army, shall we? Tyranids are a swarm monster army, i.e. small and big bugs commanded by smarter bugs to become even deadlier in combat. These bugs can be easily divided by their classes, but what Tyranids care about is unit cohesion and keeping everyone together in one big blob, or smaller blobs commanded by smaller brain creatures. The reason you do this is the Tyranids' signature ability, Synapse Link, a mental link between the brain bugs and the murder bugs to keep them from falling back or keep them on task, while your murder bugs are in range of a brain bug. They get a bonus of their leadership, forcing your opponent to have to kill each and every bug instead of just breaking their morale. Usually your brain bugs will be your leader options, such as a Tyranid Prime, a Hive Tyrant, or a Swarm Lord. Either way, your brain bugs are usually going to be bigger than cannon fodder. Tyranids love their swarms. Quantity is preferred over quality when it comes to the lesser creatures. They can still really mess up someone's day, though, with just weighted shots or attacks coming a unit's way. Your smaller bugs, though, are really good at playing defense for the bigger beasts, by just dragging things that are a threat to those bigger beasts into close quarters combat, shutting them up for the amount of time it would take for your murder bug to get there. The downside of the smaller bugs is that they aren't good at shooting or close quarters, and they are extremely squishy. And, well, an IRL reason to these being a downside is, that's a lot of models to paint and move. Now, the bigger bugs are your more kill units. Some big bugs are also brain bugs, but let's focus down on the dumb ones first. Big murder bugs are far superior to their smaller brethren. Big bugs are also considered anything bigger than a gene stealer, so warrior size and up. These units are your heavy hitters, and it's best to keep these things alive as they are some of your only options to kill your opponent's big stuff. Some bigger creatures have interesting tricks up their sleeves though. For example, being able to dig underground and pop up on the battlefield, and eating a unit up by doing so. Or creating a thick mist on the battlefield to support the smaller bugs' advance on important targets or objectives. Or hell, even just being a sniper on heavy elite units or tanks. Tyranids actually have a superior drop pod to Space Marines as well. But the downside of these bigger bugs is that they are hyper specialized. Not all the bigger bugs get range and close combat weapon options. So you'll have to decide if your slower, bigger bugs are going to be close combat killers or ranged killers, which has its obvious weaknesses. Now to the brains of your army, the brain bugs. These bugs are clearly the support and leaders of your swarm, and make every unit around them way more devastating or harder to remove from the table. Now, these bugs are ones that are way more flexible when it comes to weapon options than other monsters in the swarm, being able to shoot and stab things. Or more dedicated brain bugs, such as the Swarm Lord, that make melee units way deadlier, while a Turvagon will replace losses to your smaller bugs, while also making them scarier with their melee or shooting, as well as making all your bugs braver by just being near them. Now, that is also an obvious downside again. Your brain bugs can be targeted because a lot of them are monsters, and are easily hunted down by monster killer squads in any other army. If your brain bugs die, you'll be finding your army is a lot less killy and runs away a lot easier with the loss of leadership. Now, the Tyranids are a swarm army, no matter what you do. You bring in lots of bugs of varying sizes and strengths, and you can do whatever you wish with them. You can make a swarm of smaller bugs, or a swarm of only big bugs, or you can mix up a swarm with bugs built to support one another. As well as Tyranids can be a very fun army to paint, if extremely time consuming, because remember, you're a horde army. But they can be any color you wish and are a very fun army to mix and match colors on. Of course, downsides to playing this army are obvious. Bugs are either extremely squishy or highly specialized, and if you lose your brain bugs, then the game quickly becomes an uphill battle. Another downside is, unless the edition starts with you, you are usually ignored on the support side by Games Workshop for a long while. But you get an extremely fun swarm army, some of the most deadly shock troops in the game, and have free reign on some of the wackiest color schemes you can imagine. Plus, it helps that you have the most thirst star out of all the other factions combined. Thanks for watching. Come back next time when we awaken the most ancient race in the galaxy, put some people in a museum, and travel back in time to make sure we're right. The Necron Tier. See you next time, meatbags. Don't forget to buy the Just Keep Digging t-shirts on the Teespring store. Link in the description. Please, I am very hungry.